My parents handed over the family business I spent 4 years building to my fraud-accused criminal brother. 2 months later, he's on the news facing federal charges. I'm 26. My brother's 30. He's been scamming since we were kids. Caught shoplifting at 12. Expelled for forging grades at 16. Fired for embezzlement at 24. Every single time Mom and Dad bailed him out with the same speech about family loyalty and second chances. The embezzlement thing was serious. His company was going to press charges until Dad paid them $80,000 to make it disappear. I remember sitting at the dinner table when they told me, and I asked if they were actually going to keep enabling him forever. Mom looked at me like I'd slapped her and said I was being cruel. That was 4 years ago, and they cut him off finally. Around that same time, Dad asked me to join the family business. We run a mid-sized logistics company. Nothing fancy, but it's solid. I thought this was my shot to prove myself and maybe take over someday. I learned everything from the ground up. Inventory management, client relations, accounting, operations. I worked 60-hour weeks, took weekend shifts, brought in 3 major clients myself. I actually loved it. For once, I felt like I had a real purpose, and my parents were proud of me. My brother was supposedly working some legitimate job 2 states away. We didn't talk. I prefer it that way. Then 6 months ago, he calls Mom crying. Says he's been sober, going to therapy, working an honest job. He misses home, misses them, just wants one more chance to prove he's changed. I told Dad this was a setup. I could feel it in my gut. But Dad said everyone deserved a second chance. And Mom was already crying about how much he missed her firstborn son. He moved back home, threw this big family reunion dinner, showed up in a suit, talked about personal growth and accountability, even hugged me, which felt like shaking hands with a snake. My parents ate it up. I stayed quiet because I didn't want to be the bad guy ruining their happiness. But I watched him carefully. Here's what I noticed. He had no apartment, no car, no savings after supposedly working for 3 years. He claimed he just wanted to be close to family, but I knew better. He was broke and needed somewhere to crash while he figured out his next con. 2 months ago, everything fell apart. Dad calls me in his office at work and tells me he's bringing my brother on board, not as an employee, as my future replacement. He's going to train him for a few months and then start transitioning ownership to him. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. I've been here 4 years, I said. He's been here 4 minutes. Dad actually had the nerve to tell me my brother was older, so it was his birthright to inherit the business. That's how succession works in families. I lost it. Reminded him about the fraud charges, the $80,000 bailout, the pattern of lying and stealing. Dad said that was in the past, and I was holding grudges. Mom told me I was being jealous and unsupportive. They offered to make us co-owners, but I knew exactly how that would end. My brother would run the company into the ground, and I'd be left cleaning up the mess. I told him if he stays, I'm out. They chose him. I walked out that day and didn't look back. Spent the next 2 months applying for jobs, trying not to feel like a complete idiot for wasting 4 years of my life. My parents called a few times trying to smooth things over, but I ignored them. I was done. Last Tuesday, I'm drinking coffee and scrolling through my phone when I see my brother's face on a news alert. Arrested by the FBI. Wire fraud, money laundering, tax evasion. Turns out he'd been using Dad's business accounts to run the exact same schemes that got him fired before. He'd set up shell companies, funneled money through our logistics contracts, and falsified shipping records. The FBI had been watching him for weeks. The charges carry a 10-year minimum sentence. Federal prison, no bail. My phone started blowing up. First, my mom called me sobbing, begging me to help them save the business. I let go to voicemail. Then Dad called, then my uncle. Then my mom again. I finally answered the 5th call. Mom was hysterical. Please, you have to help us. The business is going to collapse. Your father's going to lose everything. I asked her why she thought I'd help after they chose a criminal over me. She started crying harder, saying they'd made a mistake and they needed me now more than ever. I said, you made your choice. Now live with it. Then I hung up. Yesterday morning, I got a call from an FBI agent. They needed my testimony and access to the records I kept during my 4 years of the company. Turns out, I was the only one who maintained clean, detailed documentation. My brother had been sloppy, but my records are going to be the key to putting him away for a long time. I told the agent I'd cooperate fully. They're building an airtight case, and my evidence is apparently crucial. The irony isn't lost on me. The son they threw away is now the only one who can help them survive this.